Good morning, it's Rebecca. Today we are talking about conquering your shortcomings. If this is an area that you need assistance in, please go to talkwithbecky.com. All right, it's a beautiful day. It's a Tuesday, we're in a great mood. I do not have my sidekick with me today. He's got other things he's working on right now. I'm sure we'll hear him rolling on his little ball chair over there pretty soon. But I wanted to hop in here today and talk with you about conquering your shortcomings. And how do we do that? Because we all have shortcomings, right? And we have them in pretty much every area of our lives, and we are kind of foolish to think that we don't have them, whether it's in business, whether it's in our personal wellness or our relationships. We have shortcomings. The problem is not that we actually have shortcomings, because we're not perfect individuals. The problem is that we don't see them, and if we do see them, we don't act to fix them. And that obviously can be detrimental in any area of your life, whether you have shortcomings in business that you're not willing to change or that you don't know about and other people are trying to tell you. That can be the demise of your business. Your shortcomings of eating habits and wellness habits and sleep habits can be the demise of your own personal and individual wellness. And not being who you need to be in a relationship, having shortcomings about yourself, being self-absorbed or whatever that is in a relationship, can also ruin the relationship. You may lose the relationship. So what I wanted to talk about today is that I want to validate you first and foremost, because everybody has shortcomings, okay? But the ones that rise above the shortcomings, okay, are the ones that always succeed. They conquer and they build the empire, they build the relationship, they build their wellness, right? So first thing you have to do with regard to your shortcomings is identify them. Now I am sure that you have people in your life that will assist in this process, especially the ones that are subject to your shortcomings, okay? In business, I think the biggest thing that we have to recognize, and one of my own shortcomings when I first started out, was that I would do everything. I could do everything better than anybody else could ever do it. But I, realized after a certain amount of time was that my shortcoming was that I couldn't do it all. And even though I said I could, I was becoming an abominable person to work with. I was falling into old school mentality, the way my dad used to run his business. And it was just a mess, And so my dad never overcoming his shortfalls was not going to mean that I wasn't going to not overcome mine. So part of learning what to do next is actually accepting the shortcomings and realizing that you can definitely conquer them. You have the mindset of a business owner. You're strong, you're courageous, okay? If you can conquer going into business for yourself, you can conquer a better mindset to overcome your shortfalls. So the identification of it is the most important part. Then you have to do something even harder than identify that you are not perfect, okay? What's the next thing that you need to do? And that is you have to accept those shortcomings. Oh, how hard is that? You have to accept them, and then there's a two-part to that. You have to be willing to change them. Because if you're not willing to change your shortcomings, they're never going to change. A leopard will not change its spots. Think about it. When you start a diet plan, okay? When you start a fitness program, whatever it is, you have to identify that, maybe it's just really not your thing. And it's easier to revert back. I mean, we've spoken about that in the past, that the mind automatically goes to the negative. You have to retrain the brain to go to the positive. So you're constantly fighting that leopard not changing its spots, right? With fitness, with wellness, with business. I mean, maybe in your business, your shortcoming is the fact that you cannot run your team without raising your temper. Man, do I know that from past experience in a family business, okay? Well, the thing is that if that's your shortcoming, then you don't belong empowering a team. You don't belong in charge of that team. So what do? You identify that you're not good at that. And if you're not willing to change it, if you're not willing to figure out what you have to do for that, then you need to be able to delegate that and put somebody in control that can handle that, because that's a sign of a good business person. So accepting your shortcoming and being willing to change and or delegate that down is a huge monumental step in the process. But I believe that changing a mindset is like turning on a switch. You have to be ready for that mindset change. You have to be ready to overcome the shortcomings. Because if you're not, then the leopard will never change its spots, okay? So it's gotta be a fire in your belly. It's a fire to succeed in business, the fire to succeed in your own wellness, the fire to succeed in your relationships. Because your relationships will fail. Look, we have shortcomings. You have to know in your relationships, whether it's your significant other, your children, friends, family, you need to be able to speak their language and know what that other person is looking for. And if your shortcoming is hindering your ability to grow that relationship, you better take a look at yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. Now, what am I going to tell you works in changing or overcoming your shortfalls? And that is a system. We have to build in a system that prevents you from putting back on your spots, right? It prevents you from falling backwards. That system is ironclad. And that's what we do. We help you overcome your shortcomings at talkwithbecky.com. We're not standing there judging what your shortcomings are, because I have a laundry list of them. Eric's sitting right here to my left. He will help you. He'll help me identify my shortcomings. It's lickety-split. But you know what? He has a laundry list too. And that's not what we focus on. We focus on what is going to happen when we overcome the shortcomings. How are we going to grow? How is that going to build the business? How is that going to increase sales and increase team morale and empower your employees, okay? How will it help? Because sometimes we just have to get out of our own way, and we can do that. And it's just, like I said, the flip of a switch of your mindset. So I encourage you, if you have questions about this, or if you kind of feel like, you know what, I think I'm hitting a brick wall and it's difficult for me to either identify them or overcome them, go to talkwithbecky.com. Let's figure it out. That's what we do. You know why? Because we have had the shortcomings. We still have them every single day of the week. But yet we've learned to identify them and learn what we're good at, what we're not good at, and what needs to be fixed. And then we implement a how to fix it. All right, I see some comments. What is Michael saying to me? One of my shortfalls is realizing my shortfalls. Yes. All right, but I can't see all of it. Hang on, let's see. Yep, that is an amazing goal. And you know what? It's okay to have those shortfalls, because we all have them. Right? I mean, one of my shortfalls is that I am so organized. I'm actually organized and efficient to a fault sometimes, where it's okay in business because I need it to be, right? And it keeps me on track, and it does, and I do what I'm supposed to do. But in my personal life, if everything isn't like planned accordingly, I'm out of sorts. And my daughter is always kept calling me out on it. She's like, Mom, not everything has to be planned. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. You know what I mean? And I'm always like, how do you not know? How do you not know? Like, you talk to your people. What do they say? What are you doing? So those are my shortcomings, you know, things along that nature. And it stinks to own that, because no one ever really wants to own it. But once you own it, then you progress forward. You go from average, okay? Because the people that are average don't own their shortcomings. They're just average. They're in denial almost, right? That it's everybody else around them that has issues, not them. But that's the leap. That's where you go from average to awesome, is when you identify your own shortcomings, and furthermore, identify the change that needs to happen to overcome them, all right? That's it. Just a little bit of a power hour here to let you know that it's okay to have the shortcomings. as long as you can push past them and recognize them and own them and utilize the people and the services around you to get better. That's it. That's all you can do. And every day is a progress. Every day is a process in the system. And the system has to hold you accountable to make you know that it's there, it's working, and you're not allowed to go back, right? So maybe that's looking at if it's a sales shortfall, all right? And you implemented something and now it starts not to work perfectly immediately and you want to revert back. Nope, there's a checkpoint right there to hold you accountable, to keep it back. It's kind of like a scale. I'm not a big fan of the scales with the fitness and the wellness thing. To me, it's all about a feeling and taking care of our bodies. But for people on a weight loss journey, why do you think the accountability partners of the Jenny Craigs and the, who's the other one I'm thinking of? The famous Weight Watchers, okay? I'm not an advocate. I'm not even a fan of either one of those. Don't believe in them. But no offense if you're on them and they're working great for you. But the whole reason they work is because you have to stand on a scale and check in and be held accountable by someone. So when your system includes that in your own life, in your own relationships, when you have a checkpoint of, oh, am I doing this right? Am I not? Am I falling back? Am I reverting? That's how you know. The accountability system. And a lot of the times we are your accountability systems. Once we implement and we assist, we're your checkpoint. Because you're going to speak with us on a weekly basis, at least with a check-in. So it's amazing how that works. Lights a little bit of a fire, makes you want to be better, keeps you on track, keeps it always in the back of your brain, because your decisions will gear towards that change, knowing you have somebody paying attention that you have to report to at the end. All right? Hope that served you. I really hope that you're able to identify some things that could be holding you back, or some things that are not working for you, and that you kind of know inside your brain, but you shelf them, right? You push them to the back and say, it's not me, it's everyone around me. No, take action now. Go from average to awesome, because you are, and you deserve it. All right? I hope you have a great day. Sun is shining. Enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.